Welcome to Christmas special episode of Kitchen Revelation. So today I'm here with a very simple recipe. It is a cake recipe, an eggless cake recipe, which has been requested by most of my subscribers. So I thought that I would post it for Christmas. And all those who are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Also click on the bell icon next to it for regular updates. I would also like to wish all my subscribers a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. So without wasting much time, let's quickly get on to the video. So to start with, here I've taken 60 ml of oil. This is plain sunflower oil. You need to take odorless oil for this purpose. Next I've taken 100 grams of powdered sugar. This was plain granulated sugar which I had powdered in the blender jar. Next, mix this completely until the sugar dissolves with the oil. Now to this I'll be adding 36 grams of curd. This is plain home-set curd. Please do not add it directly from the fridge. You need to bring this down to room temperature, else it will result in a hard cake. Next I'll add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. The measurements which I've explained here is for a 6-inch baking tin. If you're using a larger tin, you need to increase the quantity of ingredients. Next I've taken here 110 ml of warm milk. I've taken warm milk because we need to form buttermilk. For that I'll be adding half a tablespoon of white vinegar. Mix this gently and keep it aside. So our wet ingredients are ready. Now let's start with the dry ingredients. For that I've taken a sifter. Into that I'll be adding 100 grams of Maida or all-purpose flour. If you want to make a chocolate cake, you need to take 90 grams of Maida and 10 grams of cocoa powder. To this I've added 3 grams of baking soda and next let's sift it. After sifting, add the dry ingredients and buttermilk to the wet ingredients in batches. Now one more tip is you need to beat the wet ingredients really well until it becomes foamy just before adding the flour. This will result in nice aeration. Aeration will result in a good spongy cake. Also I'll be adding 5 ml of lemon juice. Lemon juice along with vinegar gives a velvety texture to your cake. Now start adding the flour in batches. Now you can see that the buttermilk is ready. The milk has curdled a bit. So we'll be adding this as well in batches. Now the same eggless vanilla cake recipe can be converted into a chocolate cake recipe and red velvet cake recipe. For that, as I mentioned earlier, you need to reduce the quantity of flour to 90 grams and take 10 grams of cocoa powder for chocolate cake. For a red velvet cake, along with cocoa powder, you need to add 3 drops of red gel food color. So I finished mixing this in batches and in the end it should look like a flowing ribbon-like texture. Some buttermilk is still left out. Add full milk only if necessary. If the batter becomes watery, the cake will crumble. So I've already lined the tin. You can also use plain flour and oil to dust the tin. Also I had soaked some almonds. Here I've cut them into small flakes. This is completely optional. I'll be using it to garnish the cake. Now let's bake the cake. If your oven is the normal one, you need to bake it at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 to 25 minutes. Here I'm using an IFB oven, so I'll be explaining the process. You need to place the pizza plate inside the oven. Switch on the oven and select Preheat Convection option. Select the temperature to 160 degrees Celsius and press on the start button. Now the oven will stop on its own once it gets preheated. So after about 3 minutes it has stopped giving 3 beeps. We'll open the oven and place the cake tin inside. Next, press on the stop function. Then once again select preheat or convection option and set the temperature to 150 degrees Celsius. You need to reduce the temperature by 10. Then select the timing. Here I have set it to 25 minutes. For this recipe and this amount of batter and this size of cake tin, you need 25 minutes. Time will vary depending upon the quantity of batter and the size of cake tin. This temperature setting is only for IFB oven. If you're using any other oven, it would be 180 degrees Celsius as I explained earlier for 25 minutes. So you can see that the cake has baked perfectly after 25 minutes. Still, I'll give you a tip on how to check whether your cake has baked perfectly or not. You need a toothpick, poke it in, and if it comes out clean, that means your cake is ready. Now allow the cake to sit in this cake tin for about 5 minutes and then unmold it. If you take it immediately, it might not come out evenly. Also, if you allow the cake to sit for more amount of time, the bottom will become soggy. So it's been about 5 minutes, so let's demold the cake from the tin. Once you demold the cake, allow the cake to sit and cool on a wire rack for about half an hour, else it will crumble if you cut it immediately. This cake tastes better if you cut it the next day. Also, one more tip to check whether your cake is spongy or not, just press and see if it bounces back. That means your cake is perfectly spongy. So I will cut and show you. Use a serrated knife for cutting the cake. You can see that it is really soft and spongy. I hope you all like this video. If you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching Kitchen Revelations.